Hola, culés. It's a good day. It's a better day. It's a great day to finally turn the page. And what better than El Clásico, ladies and gentlemen? Real Madrid, Barcelona at the Montjuïc. And in this video, we're going to go over all the overviews, who is in, who is out, what is the matchup looking like. So make sure you stick around. Make sure you stick around to the end of this video because I'm going to say my official prediction and how important and who comes into this game a lot better and who comes into this game with a better motivation. In one side, we have Barcelona, who is at home in Montjuïc and want to take revenge for what happened in the UEFA Champions League and are looking at Madrid with so much anger and with so much hunger. And it's a game that will win you a title. It's a Clásico that is worth a title. What Barcelona has in their hands is the chance to finally put Madrid down. Right now, it seems like they did. A few players from Real Madrid, got the surgeries that they needed before they didn't want to because they were still in the Champions League. They were still fighting for Copa del Rey. They gave it all they could, and they still could not be Barca. But on the other hand, we have a Real Madrid team who has on a silver platter, right, a chance of a lifetime to put this Hansi Flick machine to the dust. And why do I say that? What do I mean by that? Well, Real Madrid can do a remontada on La Liga. And can you imagine the kind of collapse that would mean for Barca to not win La Liga and not win the Champions League after we were dreaming for the treble? And this Barca in big points in a big stretch of the season looked like the best team in the world. Imagine that this Real Madrid team, who is really injured and is thought of as a failure of a season, and can somehow win this league. That would be, I don't even want to think about it, because what Real Madrid has a chance of doing is beyond me. Even though they haven't beat Barca this year, not only have they haven't beat them, the only chance it was competitive, it was in the Copa del Rey. That was a 3-2. But you cannot, Barca cannot allow Real Madrid to beat them in this game, because the storyline would be the best team in the world and could not beat Real Madrid in La Liga. The worst Real Madrid beat the best Barca out of the last 10 years. A lot of people have been saying this is the best Barca in the last 10 years. So the storyline is going to be the worst Real Madrid beating the best Barca in the last 10 years, ladies and gentlemen. That is what Real Madrid has on their hands. Who smells blood? My only issue with this thought is that just because Real Madrid has a great chance of doing that, and just because Real Madrid hasn't been able to beat Barca 3 times, I've already said this on my channel, people think the law of averages are going to somehow turn around because a team cannot beat you 4 times. But this notion that you cannot beat a team 4 times because you already beat them 3 times, if you are better, you will beat them 3 times. You will beat them 4 times. If you face them 5 times, you will beat them 5 times. And I said that because the last Xavi season, Real Madrid beat Barca in every single game. I think it was 3 games. This is kind of like a record-breaking 4 games. It's insane. And I know we have played 4 games before, but it's never been this lopsided. But if that Xavi Barça would have played this Real Madrid 5 times, the Xavi Barça would have lost to that Real Madrid 5 times. And I think the same about this game, Barcelona, Real Madrid. Just because Barcelona lost to Inter, which barely by 90 seconds, that somehow is going to give Real Madrid any hopes of chance because Barcelona is down on their laurels and they're going to just somehow bottle this game. I don't buy that. But anyway, guys, let's take a look at the let's take a look at all the aspects of this game overviews. So we're gonna be playing at the Montjuïc. We're gonna be playing at 7:15 a.m. Pacific time. I believe this game is at 9 p.m. in Barcelona. And very quickly, the five for El Pichichi. Robert Lewandowski comes into this game with 25 goals. I believe he's back. I believe whether that's going to make him start, well, Hansi Flick will start him or not, that's going to be up to him. But I would personally start Ferran Torres and kind of ease Lewandowski back into this game in the second half. And Kylian Mbappe is 24 goals of his own. Let's talk about Kylian Mbappe, okay? So much has been said about how Mbappe has made Real Madrid worst, and in some ways, I understand. But I think the player who has given Barca problems this year in particular, on a year Real Madrid has not been able to beat Barca, has been Kylian Mbappe. Kylian Mbappe has been a difference maker. We have had the worst matchup possible stopping a player like Kylian Mbappe. And that's the truth. He has been very successful. And if we take a look at the very first game he faced us, he scored a goal early in the first half in the Super Cup in La Liga, and when he came on the second half in the game in the Copa del Rey, he was very, very active. He was giving us every single problem no Madrid player could do in the first half of that game, and that's the main reason why they were able to a comeback on Barca, because Barca was winning 1-0, and then they tie the game, they go up 2-1, and Barca comes back, goal from Ferran Torres, and then that would be 2-2, and then the Koundé goal we all remember. So Kylian Mbappe, it's a big, big, big deal for this game, in my opinion. Let's take a look at who's injured, because that's very important in this game. I think it's very important for Barca to find themselves with Lewandowski and also Balde. What a big deal is to have Balde back. And I am gonna tell you something, okay? Typically, I would say ease him back like we're doing with Lewandowski. But in this game particularly, we need to risk Balde. Whatever he's got, we need to put it in this game. Because let's say that Balde can play, right? And let's say that that he's a difference maker for this team and for this game. And we can have him for like maybe 60, 70 minutes. And we can somehow win this game. Guys, we are winning La Liga. There's no ifs and buts. We only have Espanyol, Villarreal, and Athletic Club. That would be 3 games left in the season after. Can you imagine going up 7 points of Real Madrid with 9 points left? That's it. That's all she wrote. That's Barca winning La Liga. So we need to risk everything we have. We need to put it into this game against Real Madrid because we have to beat them one more time. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to do it against the law of averages, who most people think that is difficult to do. 4 times. In my opinion, it's not. It's just another game, right? But let's take a look at Real Madrid. Real Madrid would have Antonio Rudiger, which is a big deal. Big deal. Antonio Rudiger is out. Carvajal, we knew. David Alaba, which is another big deal because that makes him even more predictable. That makes him even more thinner at the left back position. We knew about Eder Militao. I think Eduardo Camavinga, that is a big deal. because I think Camavinga gives Madrid a lot of it gives him a lot of options. They can put him at left back, they can put him in the midfield, and he tends to have really good games. And if he's in a good game against Barca, that could be the difference in the game. They're not going to be able to have him. That's a big deal. Fernand Mendy, well, in my opinion, that's another big deal. Like I said, that makes it more predictable because what are they going to have at the left back? Well, already know it's Frank Garcia. Like, what else do they have in the left back position that they can play for this game? You know, the kind of things that Lamine Yamal is going to do on Frank Garcia. Frank Garcia may retire after this game because the kind of game that Lamine Yamal had, I just hope that he comes in with a vengeance. I hope that that Lamine Yamal can bring everything he had. If he had the kind of game he had against Inter, Lamine Yamal can score a goal or two assists or do something that's a difference in this game. This game is so important, and he's been so successful against Real Madrid that I think he can make a case for himself for winning Ballon d'Or as well. So this game is very important also for the Rafinhas of the world. So that's also something to talk about. But like I said, that makes him really predictable. So now let's take a look at the table, right? We're 4 points ahead of Real Madrid. There's 4 games left. Like I said, we have Espanyol, we have Villarreal, which is a very tough game, and we're gonna have Athletic Club, which is another tough game. And I think Real Madrid has a much easier schedule. If I am not mistaken, I think Real Madrid plays Sevilla. I think they play Girona, and I think they play Real Sociedad, which is much easier. I think they know. Actually, they play Mallorca, Sevilla, and Real Sociedad. It's what I thought that last time I checked. Let's see who is favored in this game. So it's a very tight race. 52% according to ESPN bettors. 52% Barca, 41% Real Madrid. So Real Madrid coming into this game with a lot of chance to get a W. Okay, guys, so these are the lineups right now in SofaScore. Supposedly, Chesney, Kubarsi, Martinez, Eddie Garcia, which I agree with, Gerard Martin. If we can have Balde instead of Gerard Martin, even if we need to risk it a little bit, I think that should be okay. Just because this is the toughest game left. And if we can have Balde at whatever risk we can take, that's okay. Because even if he's out for the rest of the season, and if he can come back healthy next season, we still got enough players that we can play against. Let's say the Villarreal, Espanyol, and Athletic Club. This is the game where we really need Balde. We need to be at full strength to be able to beat a team, even a team like Real Madrid with a lot of great players. So Pedri, De Jong, Olmo, Rafinha, and also Lamine Yamal and Lewandowski too. In my opinion, I think that Ferran Torres should get the start because he's going to make a lot of more runs, and Lewandowski can come in the second half and try to play off whatever that score is at the time. So I would put in Lewandowski. I don't think he's ready. I would leave him on the bench and put in Lewandowski in the second half. As far as Real Madrid, Courtois, Lucas Vázquez on the right, Tchouaméni as a center back instead of Rudiger. I think this is another big deal, guys. Huge deal, actually. Tchouaméni, if we can have Tchouaméni there as a CB, that takes away so much what they can do in the middle of the field, because he was a problem. He was a big problem against Barca in the last game. Him and Jude Bellingham had masterful performances, and I think if we can have him there instead of in the midfield, that's a point for Barca. That's a big deal. Asensio, Fran Garcia, like I said, that is a good matchup for Lamine Yamal. That, if we can have Fran Garcia, if they have Fran Garcia on the left, which is they don't have any other options, this is what I was talking about. They're very predictable. Valverde and Ceballos, this is a very good pivot. Ceballos has been playing pretty well, but he's off an injury. He hasn't been playing well since he got the injury. Fede Valverde, of course, is a great player. Jude Bellingham had a great game against Barca. That's always a problem. Vinicius Jr., he dribbles. I don't know how Eddie Garcia will match up with him. That's going to be a problem as well because Koundé. Koundé is a bad matchup for Vinicius Junior. So I think the happiest player out of the entire squad on both teams is Vinicius Junior because he doesn't have to face Koundé. And also, Mbappe, of course, I already talked about him. He's the one player that has given us a lot of problems. So, Arda Güler, which is a player that I've been commenting on this channel, and I've been saying that he's a player that should be playing more minutes. He's a player that should be in this Real Madrid squad. I think it's a problem if he's not going to start. If Ancelotti puts in Rodrigo instead of Arda Güler, that is a big mistake, and I am going to laugh in his face because Arda Güler is not, without a question, a player who can give Barca problems. He gave Gerard Martin a lot of issues in the second half in the Copa del Rey, and I think that is a big deal. If they don't put him in there, that would be just laughable. And I think Gerard Martin really just couldn't stop all the crosses that Arda Güler was doing and was making in this game, whether that was going down the right wing or the corner kicks, of course. But Arda Güler was a major problem for Barca in the second half, and that was one of the reasons why they came back and they were able to put this game at 2-1 going Real Madrid's way. We were able to climb out of that hole, but Arda Güler, a great player, and I just cannot believe that Ancelotti has left him in the bench throughout the whole season. So, guys, my official prediction, like I said, who comes into this game with more grit, with more fire, with more attitude, with more emphasis to take this league? This is a Clásico that can win you a title. I think Barca wins this game 3-2. I expect this game to be just as crazy as the Inter Milan because let's face it, Barcelona, we allowed score, we allowed goals, we concede all the time. We have a great offense, but we haven't been able to play defense, and I think that's going to be an issue with the Mbappe, with the Vinicius Junior, with the Jude Bellinghams, with the Arda Gulers. That is going to be a problem, but I do think Barcelona has enough to take over this Real Madrid, who is just not fully healthy, and Barca is healthier than Real Madrid. So I think that's going to be the difference in the game. 3-2 Barcelona. Let me know your thoughts. I want to know your thoughts about El Clásico. What are you feeling? How are you feeling about the Inter loss, and how you think we come into this game? If you think that we are going to be able to win this game, please let me know. I just want to know what you guys are thinking. So guys, I'll catch you guys on the reaction match video that I will be doing after the game and on Sunday morning. So guys, have a great weekend. Let's win this league, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Visca el Barça.